Hello, my name is Zoya Mabuto-Mokoditoa, and I am recording this video to share my experience having attended the absolutely gorgeous retreat that was hosted by Mind Retirement Institute. This took place in February of this year, and I think it's important for me to paint a picture of where I was at and why this retreat for me certainly, made a huge difference, really contributed to the fact that today I can stand up in front of people and be relatively energized and fresh and funky and gorgeous. So I am a wife, a dedicated wife to a gorgeous husband. I am a mother to 3 beautiful children, and I run a business. So I run a small business where we offer leadership development solutions, training solutions to our corporate clients. So I think what you can appreciate about this is that my time is incredibly, or my schedule rather, is incredibly busy. It's a tight schedule, navigating different things all of the time, whether this is thinking proactively about what must happen in my home, all the way to the various goings on at my children's schools, and then obviously tending to, my business and my business needs. Now, part of my business offering involves me standing up to speak to groups of people across the board. And so all of these different roles interspersed can become quite tricky and challenging and difficult to manage. And in fact, I remember at the end of last year saying to my husband, I'd never felt, the way I felt last year. I was completely drained. And when I described what the feeling was to him, I said, I feel like running away somewhere and hiding under a rock where no one can find me. And so at the beginning of this year, I made the decision then to invest in myself. I said, I need to take some time out to focus on me and to really focus on my needs and to realign with who I am and what it is that I want to do. And so I signed up for the, for the retreat, and it was all about unveiling your radiance. And I think for me, the timing was perfect because boy, oh boy, was it incredible. We went to Durban, Umhlanga in Durban, South Africa. And I mean, just waking up to the beautiful ocean in a completely serene part of the world was part of what was for me a truly amazing experience. But I think some of the things that stood out include the following. So number one, Buseletso, the host, together with her husband, were incredible hosts. They really, they live the spirit of Ubuntu. And I don't want to sound, cliche. I don't want to sound cliche, but I truly felt loved and cared for and served in that space. Buseletso cooking home-cooked meals, the reflexology massage she gave us at the end of day 1, her ongoing commitment to making sure that we were comfortable, that we were really in a space that allowed us to retreat, and park those multiple responsibilities that we, have to contend with on a day-to-day basis. That was the one thing that really stood out. The second thing that stood out was that this retreat was called a holistic wellness retreat. And so I stepped into it, not entirely sure what they meant by this, but I think as the days unfolded, they looked at everything from my personal well-being, and I'm talking about my physical personal well-being, this through things or activities like yoga by the beach. We had a wonderful yoga by the beach session in the morning. I've already mentioned the reflexology, and then just sessions in the mornings where we'd stretch our physical bodies. And so that was the one aspect, really kind of paying attention to the physical body, which can get left behind in the hum and drum and bustle, hustle and bustle of this life that we lead. And then we did, some inner work as well, where we had an opportunity to really kind of deep dive into ourselves. We were asking hard questions of ourselves and reflecting on our names and where we come from and who gave us those names. Really powerful activities to reconnect us to ourselves. And I appreciated some of the insights that came up for me as we did, these exercises. And then I think finally, it was also thinking about the fact that, I'm a business owner. And at the retreat, we're also able to, through a fun, immersive game experience, really start to think about, what are we cultivating for ourselves as business owners, as business leaders. And I think this was important as well. And I was able to take a look at my business in ways I had not yet considered or thought of. And I think for me, this was the biggest spark. So the second really beneficial aspect of the retreat was the fact that I actually was able to just spend a day reflecting fully on me in a holistic way, right from my body to my mind to my soul, and reconnecting with myself in those ways. And then I think finally for me, the third thing, what was really special, was that, you know, we did all of this in community. And so we were with groups of people. I was meeting almost everybody for the first time. But by the end of those 3 days, we bonded sufficiently that, you know, to me at the end of it all, it felt like a very special experience. The quality of relationships that we cultivated on that retreat, I will treasure for a long time to come. And I had a really great time. So if you're identifying with any part of what I'm sharing, perhaps you feel like you're down in the dumps, perhaps you're going through a little bit of a rut, perhaps like me, you're also just a little bit tired and needed a break, or like me back then, needed a break, I want you to really consider gifting yourself or another person in this way, taking time out in a very mindful and deliberate way makes a world of difference. And of course, it's much better, or so much more beneficial, when you're in the company of people who are ready to serve you in the way that Buseletso and her family did, and the company of people who are out to really assist you to awaken something within yourself, to unleash that radiance. Then I really would encourage you to sign up for the upcoming retreats. I think the next one is, I'm not sure when the next one is. I think it is in April, so it might be next month. I also know that there's one that